was kind of safe because you didn't really have to talk to a person. And at that point, I was just looking into the faith, and I didn't know much about the faith, and I didn't want anybody really pushing on me. I came to the James's home, and Rick met me at the door, and very friendly, very open, non-threatening. It was just great. It was like walking into a friend's house.
America watches television.
As the National Teaching Campaign moves forward, the National Spiritual Assembly and the National Teaching Committee continue to purchase airtime on cable channels with increasingly larger audiences. In addition to the power of race unity, other videos are being tested. A program titled Family, The Seeds of World Peace, and another called The Power of Prayer are nearing completion. Also videos featuring rural Baha'is with music by Dan Seals, and a Latino production in Spanish are currently being filmed.
It may seem like too much to hope for that thousands or tens of thousands or perhaps hundreds of thousands of people over the course of the next few years will become interested in the faith and will join the faith. But the Universal House of Justice has also made clear that any analysis of our opportunities that fails to take into account Baha'u'llah's capacity to confirm even the humblest of our efforts is essentially a useless analysis. So we have our intelligence, we have our systematization, we have our plan, but we also have abiding faith that Baha'u'llah will confirm us if we act in unity, if we pursue this plan, and if we persevere. We know that this will happen. It will happen because this is the time. The art projects are almost complete, the lesser piece is emerging, and the hand of Baha'u'llah is compelling humanity towards a better and better appreciation of his revelation. He's preparing the ground for us, and it's much bigger than we are as individuals. All we have to do is play our part, and if we do it, we can be certain that we are going to see resounding victory for this cause.
Stay tuned after the credits for a special sneak preview of TV commercials that the Baha'i Distribution Service will make available for use in your local community. Jerry Dean and Kenneth Moore know how to host firesides. They combine hospitality and systematic preparation with their love of Baha'u'llah and love of humanity. It is the warmth and joy of their personalities that attract both seekers and Baha'is from great distances. While Jerry arranges the flowers, Ken checks on the dinner. The Moores have their monthly fireside down to a science. They have developed a special way to attract seekers and help the Baha'is in their area get to know each other better.
Notice I have 2 album books of Baha'is from well, all walks of life and all communities. So I don't know, it's all in love. I love people. I love the people I'm around. So, and I just started taking pictures.
I've showed this all over, and they look at this and say, "Wow, these people are so happy. Why?" And so this is like an introduction, a mouthpiece for us.
One reason the Moores understand the importance of hosting firesides is because they attended so many in the past year as they were investigating the faith and becoming Baha'is.
I wanted to be a part of this plan because that's, if I could reach out to someone to share this particular knowledge that I have embarked upon, I would be so happy and so blessed for that.
Tony Tucker is a Baha'i from Belize who moved to Chicago where he found work as a contractor.
Tony was working for my husband, and Tony brought the Baha'i faith to my husband. And in turn, my husband brought the Baha'i faith to me.
Jerry was alarmed when her husband Ken first mentioned the Baha'i faith. She felt that she better investigate it herself to see what type of employee was working with her husband.
I said to him, I said, Ken, this is, you're waiting for Christ, right? He said, oh, yes, yes. He said, I said, well, let me tell you something. I said, you know, you missed him. He said, what? I said, yeah. I said, Christ came already. He came and gone. He looked at me and he laughed. I said, man. So I left it at that. Not knowing that he came home and tell his wife, you know that new guy I got working for me, I think something is wrong with him.
Tony realized his job and friendship were at risk, but he could see that Ken was attracted to the faith in spite of his resistance.
What was missing was this universal connection, because you know, I couldn't, you know, you go to church and you got 2,000 black people, and this church got 2,000 white people, and this church got 2,000 Mexican people. One of these people want to come together.
Since I was familiar with the Bible, my husband and Tony had brought some the Baha'i writings of Baha'u'llah to me, and so what I did was started comparing the writings with the Bible.
You know, if you study the writings of Baha'u'llah and Jesus Christ, you see, it connects by itself if you use any logic and common sense. You can't become a Baha'i, pick up a book, read a couple of pages, put the book down, and say a prayer every now and then. It's a little more than that.
Now I know exactly what my mission is to be able to reach out and teach the faith.
But you really do need to participate. All Baha'is need to participate. And like I said, they bring a lot of baggage. I see a lot of prejudice in the Baha'i faith, but I black it out. It ain't important, you know. You see that in a lot of other religions, so, you know. But this particular religion is something real special. It should be treated special.
It's really something of help to me. It helped me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you what, you know, for the past months, no, because of him, I've become a stronger Baha'i. I have become a stronger Baha'i.
Every day, we sit and discuss the Baha'i faith with each other, every day. Every single day. We turn the TV off so we could talk and read and study every single day, 7 days a week.
Their daily deepening and constant efforts to invite friends to their firesides are paying off.
The thing that's going for the Baha'is is not only what they say, but their actual actions in dealing with non-Baha'i individuals and the love that is expressed and shown for human beings.
But love, all love, you got to have that to be a Baha'i and to prosper as a Baha'i.
In Western Florida, the Baha'is of Broward County South have established a community approach to hosting firesides. Once a month, the entire community sponsors a major fireside at the home of Sam and Hoda Husseini.
We started about 7 years ago, and our local assembly decided to call it its major teaching project on a regular basis and to support it. And everybody in the community, when we first came here, we were only 9 Baha'is. And now we're about 60 Baha'is.
Tonight we had over 100 people at our fireside, and we were outnumbered by seekers.
We have had in the past 12 months over more than 20 declarations.
We put a lot of work and effort, especially several members of the community that put a lot of effort into calling seekers every month and inviting them personally every month.
I'm kind of at the age now where I'd like to explore a little bit and get a little more spiritual. I do have 2 children, and we aren't really at this time bringing them up in any religion.
Christine first heard about the Baha'i faith when she saw a Baha'i advertisement in the local newspaper.
Personally, I didn't want anyone to shove anything on me. I didn't want it to be sold anything. Every time I have felt that the warmth here keeps me coming back, as well as the hospitality. And I understand that's part of what the faith is all about.
Diane Connolly Graham wants her children to appreciate all cultures, particularly in her efforts to raise her children as peacemakers.
And especially a setting like this is very important, in my opinion, for them to be around a lot of different people from different cultures.
Oh my Lord, make thy you can't pick and choose who you get. You have people from all over the world come to the fireside, and they're waiting and they're ready.
I was like, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And I'm like, I don't know. I have some stuff in my life that I need to clean up first. And what I never forget, what he said to me is that you don't become perfect and then become a Baha'i. You become a Baha'i, then you learn how to be perfect.
And I met more people that I loved, and they shared my views. And these were the things I'd been searching for. I said, where does one sign up?
As teaching activities intensify across the nation, travel teachers are finding innovative ways of sharing the Baha'i faith with new contacts. Sponsored by the local Spiritual Assembly of Little Canada, Minnesota, Project Wildfire is a performance ensemble that grew out of the youth workshop in the Twin Cities area. Local youth realized that there are a great number of teaching opportunities, especially in public schools, which these youth could not respond to because they were busy with their own classes. In response, a core group from the workshop decided to commit to a year of service as part of a full-time travel teaching performance ensemble. Now they are able to perform whenever they are needed. They advertised their idea on the internet and attracted Baha'i youth from neighboring communities and from as far away as Holland and France. To prepare for their year-long project, participants completed 3 weeks of intensive deepening and training before embarking on their trip. The group of 10 has concentrated their efforts in the upper Midwest region, primarily focusing on Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. In 8 months, Project Wildfire has done 350 public performances. They have given 56 firesides and facilitated 150 dialogues on matters of race and gender. Project Wildfire has experienced both trials and victories while teaching the faith. As their performances increase in popularity within the public schools, they have earned a reputation as positive role models for children and youth.
As we all know, our deeds are greater than our words, and I think we could really see this. As kids, we know they need role models and people to look up to. And this message, or these messages that we're presenting, kind of give children of today and youth of today hope that they can do something.
Martha Yazdani, Mona Gahariz, and Saba Rohani are 3 college students who spent their summer break travel teaching, serving at Baha'i schools, and facilitating dialogues on gender equality.
It really has had an amazing effect on me. I really feel closer to Baha'u'llah. I feel like I connected with Baha'u'llah and have really developed a relationship with him.
So we contacted all the auxiliary board members, we contacted the regional councils, we contacted state teaching committees, everybody and anybody. If we knew somebody, we just contacted them, anyone. And then we waited a while, and after a while, people just started responding. And from those responses, that's how we made our trip.
Visiting these small communities along the way has been an incredible experience. Mainly because I've got to see with my own eyes those isolated Baha'is that are doing everything in their power to meet the goals set by the Universal House of Justice.
Tonight there was sort of a dramatic interpretation, I guess you could say. Poetry was not just read, but it was performed, and I found that to be like very, very dynamic and interesting and inspiring.
The discussion was down to earth and stimulated wide participation.
Sappa, she was talking about in school how men kind of flirt a lot with you and then afterwards kind of drop you, and I can relate that to what I see in school and to what I feel and to what I have to learn to like stay away from and to live a chaste life.
The great thing about, you know, travel teaching or teaching the faith of Baha'u'llah is that you don't have to be a genius, you don't have to be a professor or even, you know, a lawyer, a doctor, or anything. You can just be an ordinary person like me, college student, you know, and go take out a day, take out an hour of your life and go teach the faith.
The One Human Family Gospel Choir proclaimed the faith through a series of concerts throughout the southern states. The 40 singers were led by composer and director Eric Dozier. They called their trip the Harvest Tour. One stop on their tour was in Monroe, Louisiana, where they helped the local community with the largest proclamation event the state had ever seen. They were warmly received in 3 Baptist churches where at least 500 people had the chance to hear about the Baha'i faith. In each church, the preachers were given Baha'i prayer books and the power of race unity. Responding to the Universal House of Justice and inspired by the annual Baha'i Black Men's Gathering held each summer, many African Americans have been travel teaching in Africa. Last year, National Spiritual Assembly member Billy Roberts led a group of travel teachers to East Africa. The trip began with visits to the Baha'i Temple in Kampala, Uganda, where Hand of the Cause of God Enoch Olenga is buried. And then they split into teaching teams. They taught the faith in cities and remote villages in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Simultaneously, African American women are also responding to the call of the House of Justice to teach in Africa. In April, the men who taught last year met with a new group of women preparing to teach in Africa. The men shared inspiring stories and offered enthusiastic support for the women. At the beginning of the 4-year plan, Phyllis and Jean Undershoot sold their home and bought an RV camper to drive across the country travel teaching. For well over a year, they have visited rural communities near the Louis Gregory Institute, Baha'is in towns along the East Coast, and in New England, stopping off in Wilmette to say prayers at the Mother Temple of the West, and continuing on through Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. As the seasons change, they continue on through the Pacific Northwest. They serve as ambassadors to the Baha'i communities by sharing stories from each community they pass through. Living on the road, Jean and Phyllis have diligently maintained journals of their many experiences, gathering stories of the emerging patterns of Baha'i community life and their experiences as itinerant teachers.
When I think of my Baha'i family, I no longer think of the couple dozen or so Baha'i friends in my home community. Now I think of my Baha'i brothers and sisters in New York, Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, all the places we visited.
The Undershoots have gained a rare perspective on the condition of the faith in America. Such full-time commitment naturally fosters spiritual transformation and a change in outlook from a white middle-class, Midwestern, suburban lifestyle.
Somehow there's a sense of urgency that one feels that, hey, we're only here a short time. We've got to cut through a lot of the normal cautiousness and get busy with the process of getting connected. It's a heart-to-heart bonding.
After seeing all types of Baha'i communities over the past year and spending a great deal of time in several predominantly African-American communities, Phyllis and Jean have come to feel a much greater sense of urgency about fostering racial harmony.
Probably one of my biggest challenges and one of my biggest personal tests is feeling impatient with white Baha'is who say, I don't know what to do. You people have been oppressed. And it's too big, and I don't know of how I can help you. I want to help, but I don't know how. And I want to just take them by the shoulders and look into their eyes and say, don't let that stop you. You've got to be able to figure out what it is to do. All you've got to do is open your eyes and look around you.
In abandoning their homes to raise the call of the kingdom, these believers are following in the footsteps of the great travel teachers of earlier generations. It is a path beset with struggles, with loneliness, and leading to reliance on God and a special kind of blessing. As the Baha'is enter the final year of the 4-year plan and the final year of the century, the projects on Mount Carmel are a tangible display of the victories won by the Baha'i world. From the middle of Ben Gurion Avenue, at the foot of Mount Carmel, one gets the sense of the grandeur of the path of the kings. The vision of Baha'u'llah, Abdu'l-Baha, and Shoghi Effendi is nearly realized. The dignified splendor of the seat of the International Teaching Center has emerged. Its exterior marble work has been completed and the scaffolding has been removed. Final work on the interior is underway. Across the Ark, the Center for the Study of the Sacred Texts is now complete. Its massive structure cleverly concealed in the mountainside, so it now appears like a delicate pavilion in the garden. Project architect Hussein Amanat explains.
I tried to integrate the building into the garden and into the mountain so that it would not distract from the beauty of the garden. And you see even the roof of this building is a part of the garden. The whole building is based on that concept.
The Center for the Study of the Sacred Texts is now being furnished, and it is expected that it will be ready for occupancy in a couple of months. 13 of the 19 terraces are completed, including Terrace 19 at the top of the mountain. Terraces 11 through 14 directly behind the Shrine of the Bab are nearly finished and are almost ready to be landscaped. Stone pools, floor paving, balustrades, and columns are being placed. Hatzianat Avenue has been lowered, and the bridge between terraces 10 and 11 is being built. Adjacent to Hatzianat Avenue, under Terrace 11, is the Visitors Information Center, the Office of Public Information and Security Offices. Interior construction of this underground building is also nearing completion. The emerging beauty of the mountain has moved the municipality of Haifa and Israel's Ministry of Tourism to publish a brochure in which Mayor Amram Mitznah announces the Baha'i properties as the 8th wonder of the world. This brochure details the dramatic events that have transformed the mountain since the dawn of the Baha'i revelation and is being distributed to the public by the Haifa Tourist Bureau in nearly every hotel in the city. Once the entrance plaza and terraces are completed, the pilgrims coming to pay respects to the primal point will at last be able to ascend the 9 terraces to the shrine. The days passed swiftly as the twinkle of a star. Make your mark now at this crucial turning point of a juncture, the like of which shall never return. Make that mark in deeds that will ensure for you celestial blessings, guarantee for you, for the entire race, a future beyond any earthly reckoning.
For a free copy of the Baha'is magazine, call 800-22-UNITE. The magazine is filled with articles and photographs of Baha'is working to create a better world. Find out about this growing movement. The Baha'is magazine describes a community of people who are making a difference. Call now for your free copy, 800-22-UNITE, or visit the website at www.us.baha'i.org. There's no obligation. For a free copy of the Baha'is magazine, call 800-22-UNITE. The magazine is filled with articles and photographs of Baha'is working to create a better world. Find out about this growing movement. The Baha'is magazine describes a community of people who are making a difference. Call now for your free copy, 800-22-UNITE, or visit the website at www.us.baha'i.org. There's no obligation. For a free copy of the Baha'is magazine, call 800-22-UNITE. The magazine is filled with articles and photographs of Baha'is working to create a better world. Find out about this growing movement. The Baha'is magazine describes a community of people who are making a difference. Call now for your free copy, 800-22-UNITE, or visit the website at www.us.baha'i.org. There's no obligation.
If you believe there is only one race,
which was created in many different colors,
and if you believe that these differences are beautiful,
it should be the cause of unity,
and if you believe that our highest purpose
is to love each other
and live together as one family
with justice,
then you may want to look into the Baha'i faith.
Millions of people of every race, nation, and culture share these beliefs
as members of the Baha'i faith.
To love each other as one family.
To pray together as one family.
To respect the differences of one another.
And to light the hearts of one another.
These are goals of the Baha'i faith.
A religion dedicated to oneness.